Hello guys, welcome to a spooky video. I am Andy, or WWW and I hope you enjoyed my previous video, the Mushroom Kingdom Showdown thing. It wasn't really any normal kind of video, and if you got a what the heck feeling, then my job here is done. Because that was just supposed to be like a creepypasta thing, a creepypasta video thing. But don't worry, the new version is on its way. But anyways, we're approaching Halloween, guys, and I thought that we are going to open up Halloween. I don't think it's quite yet. I think it's October the 30th or something. And we are 5 days to go, I think. But it doesn't hurt to be here earlier. So I thought since we are approaching Halloween, we are going to talk horror games and movies, basically. So anyways, starting off with actually a game made by myself. You may know me that I have made my Super Wario games, currently working on the 5th one, and also this Mushroom Kingdom Showdown thing. But I've also made a third type of game. That game is called The Doctor's Trick. The Doctor's Trick is a game I made for Halloween last year in 2013. However, back then I didn't have that many subscribers as I have now. So therefore the video and the game didn't get so much attention as I probably was hoping for. So guys, I just want to remind you that The Doctor's Trick is a game made by me. It's not very good, maybe doesn't have really any good scares at all, but it's the first horror game that I've ever made, and maybe you will check it out if you want to, because downloads to the game and the original video as well will be in the description below. So if you want to test The Doctor's Trick out, guys, then feel free to do so, and it would be super cool if you maybe made a facecam gameplay of it or something, or just gameplay of it and put it on YouTube. That would be super cool. So The Doctor's Trick is basically gotten inspiration from two horror games called The House and The House 2. Those games are free horror games you can check out online. They basically work like you have several things you can interact with and click on, and yeah, basically that. You click and nothing specific happens, and you click and click and click and click and click, and nothing really happens, but eventually something does come up. And then after you some crazy shit has happened, then you proceed to the next room. And in the final room something scary happens. So that is how The House and The House 2 works, and that is also how I try to make my game work. So if you want to check it out, then the link will be in the description. I hope you will do it, and I hope you will enjoy it as well. So anyways, talk horror games. Have you heard about Five Nights at Freddy's? I'm guessing most of you know about that game. That game is a kind of new game. I think it came out a few months ago or something, and it has just grown like crazy. I mean, like PewDiePie has played it, Markiplier has played it, everybody plays it. It's even been made videos up about, you know, teens react to Five Nights at Freddy's. Like, the game is insanely big right now, and the good thing is they're actually working on a sequel, and the game has been it's grown so much, and I can understand why, because the game is actually pretty good. I've played it myself. I haven't made any videos of it. If you want me to, then I will of course do that. But the game is basically about you in a shop or a toy museum or something, I'm not really sure. And then you're there at night and you're going to watch over these these mechanic dolls. There are a total of 4 of them, or 5 including a little Easter egg thing. And then you need to watch over them through cameras, and you have a limited power, you need to shut down the doors, and the game is just super creepy. I think the idea is pretty original, and that's pretty good, so yeah, Five Nights at Freddy's is really good. However, speaking about that game, I noticed something very interesting about the game. So when I downloaded the game, I got an installer, right? You need to install the game. And when I downloaded the game and looked at the file, I thought, huh, this looks familiar. And then I opened up the installer, and the design of the installer itself looked also very familiar to me. And when I played the game itself, there was also something there that looked familiar. And those things were all things that I have seen or experienced in Multimedia Fusion 2, the software I use to make my games. What I'm talking about is that whenever you make an application or make a game out of what you have created inside the game, make it into an exe file, then you can either choose to make it just into an application, or you can also make it into an installer. So people can install your game to their computers instead of just getting one file. And the installer that is created when you make an installer with Multimedia Fusion 2, that is identical to the one seen in Five Nights at Freddy's. So when I installed the game, I thought that, huh, maybe this game is made with Multimedia Fusion 2. And then when I play the game, you know the fading sequence, you know that like the title screen fades into the intro, and like the game over scene fades into the game over screen. Those things looked familiar to Multimedia Fusion 2. Now you may ask, how can like fading sequences look similar to a software? How can you recognize those? Well, it's simple, because in Multimedia Fusion 2, whenever you make a fading sequence between 2 frames, for example, the title screen and the intro, those are 2 frames. Whenever you make a fading sequence between 2 frames, then like the whole frame will stop, like all animations will stop until the fading is complete. So if you have this static screen right on the title screen of Five Nights at Freddy's, whenever like when you click new game or something there and it's faded into the intro, the static will stop, like the animation will stop completely until the fading is complete. That is exactly how it works in Multimedia Fusion 2. So I went to a video of this game, I think it was a video of Markiplier, and I asked, does anyone know what software this is made with? And then I got a response that it was made by ClickTeam Fusion 2. And ClickTeam Fusion 2 is actually a software similar to Multimedia Fusion 2. And that is pretty cool. It's made by the same company, by the way. Yeah, they are basically ClickTeam Fusion 2. I think it basically is a little better version of Multimedia Fusion 2, the software I use. So that means that you can actually make a game like Five Nights at Freddy's inside the software that I'm using. So this pretty much proves that you can make really big and successful games without any, without being a part of a huge game company. And that's pretty cool to think about, that a game like Five Nights at Freddy's can be made with Multimedia Fusion 2. That is insanely cool to think about, at least for me though. So yeah, let's talk a bit about horror movies. So I've recently seen Annabelle on cinema with my friends, and I'm like a huge fan of the horror genre. And Annabelle was, I thought it was pretty good, because I've read reviews about it before I saw the movie, and people weren't really happy about it. Annabelle is a prequel to the very successful horror movie The Conjuring that came out last year. The Conjuring is an excellent horror movie. It is really creepy, and instead of having just cheap jump scares, you really feel terrified by watching the movie, and you really, care about the actors, something you don't usually do in horror movies. And Annabelle is a prequel to The Conjuring, where you get to know the backstory of the haunted doll that is like the main object in The Conjuring. So when I read that bad reviews about Annabelle, I was a bit skeptical to seeing the movie, but when I went out to the cinema, I was pretty happy actually, because I thought Annabelle, it wasn't as good as The Conjuring, but I thought it was pretty good still. For example, the actors, I thought they were pretty good actually, even though people said they were horrible. I thought the setting was pretty good, I thought like the story and everything really fit good together. There were really a couple of things that I didn't like, or only one thing really that I didn't like, and that was the doll itself, Annabelle. Nothing much happened to the doll. I mean, in between scenes throughout the movie, we could see like the camera zoomed into the doll in the room and played some scary music, maybe. But nothing really happened to the doll except for one scene though. However, the movie had some very scary scenes. And especially one, maybe I think it's the scariest scene in the movie. And spoiler alert. So the scariest scene in the movie, I think, as I said, spoiler alert, is when the main character, the woman, is in the basement. The basement is pretty scary. It's like a checkboard floor, and it's like cabinets everywhere, and it's very dark, and like the lightning is flashing, I think. And then she's doing some stuff that I can't remember, and suddenly a little child wagon is like rolling on itself out of a cabinet in the background. You don't hear like a jump scare noise, you just see it in the background. Then you know something scary is gonna happen. So she walks slowly over there, and there's a little blanket there, and she's going to open it up, and just know something scary is gonna be there. I don't know what was in there because I was covering my eyes when I saw it. However, there was something scary there, maybe a face, maybe an arm or something. At least she backed off into the elevator, and in the distance we could see like a shadow of a demon rising up from the child wagon. That was pretty scary, and then she clicked on the first floor or something on the elevator and the door shut. What I was expecting then was that maybe the demon would wait for her in the next floor, or that the demon would stick his hand through the ceiling or something. But what happened was even more terrifying. The elevator doors opened and she was still in the basement. Like there was no music playing, she was still in the basement. You could see the dark hallway there, And then she got a little panic, she pressed again, the door shut, and then eventually it opened, she was still in the basement. And that like happened several times. It was just horrible to look at. I mean, I sat like this, so, oh my god, something's gonna happen, something's gonna happen, something's gonna happen! It was absolutely terrifying, so I'm happy with Annabelle. You should watch it, I think, even though the review says in the video the film is a bit bad. I think it was pretty good. So guys, do you have any horror games that you really like or horror movies you've seen lately that you really enjoy? As I said, you should definitely check out The House and The House 2. They are free online games you can check out. And also it would be really cool if you checked out my game, The Doctor's Trick, in the description. I don't know if it's really good, but you can test it out anyways. Also, Five Nights at Freddy's, do you want me to play that game with facecam maybe? That is all up to you guys, if you want to. I know I'm a bit late to the party here, but I have played the game and the game is still popular, the sequel is coming up. If you want me to play it, then make sure to drop a comment below. And guys, I hope you enjoyed this, I hope you will have a happy Halloween. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Do you want me to do more vlogs? Then make sure to tell me that as well. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching, you are awesome, and I'll see you guys on my next video. Thanks.